Hello, welcome to another Marky-mark video. Hope you're enjoying your summer, or wherever you are in the world. Certainly in the UK at the moment, it's lovely and hot and dry and quite unusual actually. Very nice, but it's also nice to have a bit of rain. It's always a big talking point in the UK about the weather. It's either too hot, or it's too cold, or it's too wet. Anyway, some cracking stuff to show you this time. Really happy. I sort of had my eye on this box set for a little while, and it was a bit expensive, and it's come down in price. Thankfully, it didn't sell out, obviously, because I got one. I'm going to talk about this. It's Genesis of Genius, Ornette Coleman. I like a bit of Ornette Coleman. I'm not massively into his catalogue, but I do find myself kind of delving down that rabbit hole with a bit of this kind of sort of avant-garde kind of jazz. But he was a genius. There's no doubt about it. What he managed to achieve in a very, very short space of time. But this is delightful. It was me talking about box sets in the last video, but I had to buy this. And the reviews of it are fantastic. I think Bernie Grunman cut it. Lovely. I mean, let's have a look at it, and I'll show you what I mean. So it's got this great kind of fabric outer covering, which is really lovely. Love the design. But when you open it up, it's an absolute treat. Firstly, there's an OB that goes around the main box, which just kind of goes there anyway. And inside, you've got this fantastic little memo from Lester Koenig. You can see that. That was the first thing I noticed. I read it. It basically said it's to Nat Hentoff, saying about got an idea for the Ornette Coleman album cover, and possibly you'll want to incorporate it in your lead paragraph. I'm calling it Something Else, which is this album. There's two records basically in this box set. Something Else, which something else means it's like saying, oh wow man, that's something else. It's like amazing. That's like completely brilliant. So there's a great little memo there. I like that. And then let's get rid of. I'll show you what I mean. In the inlay of the box is this fantastic kind of little booklet that kind of gives you an idea of Ornette Coleman's journey. And it wasn't an easy journey at all. I mean, the guy met lots of criticism and opposition. You know, he was just like, he wasn't really taken very seriously. And he got beaten up and his saxophone smashed up, and then he started playing with a plastic kind of trainer saxophone, I believe, which was his kind of signature sound. Some people didn't take him seriously at all. Like Dexter Gordon's mentioned in here, saying, you know, get him off stage, sort of thing. But there's some great little pictures, and eventually he won people over, like Mingus, Don Cherry, and it's a really, really nice, heartfelt booklet, that. And when you take the booklet out and have a read of it, inside you've got a nice little comment from Ornette himself, saying, I would like to play with a group in which everyone has a freedom of expression of his own, where we can blend into one particular sound. And that's Ornette Coleman, March the 12th, 1958. Great box set, really nice. The two records inside feature his first album, which is, I think, is that one. Tomorrow is, no, it's this one. No, it's something else. That's the first one, with Don Cherry on trumpet, Walter Norris on piano, Don Payne on bass, Billy Higgins on drums. Fantastic. Great thick jacket. Sounds fantastic. Perfect all the way through. Yeah, actually it was a couple of years ago that this came out. It's 2021. And then the second one, which is my favourite, Tomorrow is the Question. And you can buy both of these relatively cheaply. I think they're bringing this one out in August, but the box set and the lovely kind of liner notes and the essays, it's really, I really recommend it. Have a little listen to this. Now Blue Note brought out a box set, and I listened to that on through Spotify, and for some reason I don't know what it is about the Blue Note stuff that he recorded, but it just doesn't do anything for me. So it does, but not enough to spend the money that they want for it. Whereas both of these records are absolutely fantastic in their own right. So yeah, tomorrow is the question and something else. Really good. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about this. Smiths. With a damaged inner sleeve there, nothing you can do about that. Yeah, so I managed to pick up this fairly cheaply because it was slightly damaged. You've got quite a bit of splitting on the inner sleeves there. You can't see much here, but this is Louder Than Bombs, one of my favourite, or probably the favourite album for me, the Smiths did. I've got another one, I've got Queen Is Dead, and then what the Smiths did, they recycled a lot of music, brought out lots of kind of reincarnations of the same tracks on different, which is a bit of, but this is fantastic. Every single song on this is one that I would happily sit there and listen to. Fantastic. Sounds great. I don't know who mastered it, but I should know. But the records have come. It's a reissue. It's not an original. But that record is absolutely glorious. Beautiful. Yeah. Is It Really So Strange? Shoplifters of the World Unite. Love it. Sweet and Tender Hooligan. I mean, it's just great tracks. If you like, Morrissey's voice can get a bit grating. It's fine. It's just I don't mind that too much. There's plenty of singers out there that you can think, crikey, can't listen to that. Radiohead or anyway. This slightly damaged, but anyway, yeah, really pleased to get this. Really recommend it. It's really good. Really like the Smiths. Right, what else did I get in the last month or so? I picked up this from Pure Pleasure in London. The Speaker's Corner. I've heard a lot about this. I'm not massively into classical music. I've got a little bit, but not much really. But I listened to this, and there's a signature tune in this that's been used a lot, and it just thought, I've got to get that. Sounds fantastic. I'm going to try and pronounce it, and I apologise to anyone who's offended. Roggerio Ricci, London Symphony Orchestra, Piano Gamba. Really great. I'm not even going to try and attempt to tell you what kind of music, when you hear it, you'll know. I think it's the second one on side one. Ziegenweisen, Op 20 number 1. And this is the where is this now? What year was this brought out? Well, it was 1960. But this is like a 2019. I love Speaker's Corner. They do a really fantastic job. And if there's a problem, I had a problem with a Mingus box set. One of the 3 discs had this blimmin' damage to it, and I called Pure Pleasure and sent it back off to Speaker's Corner and got a replacement. No problem at all. So fantastic. Really, really, really recommend that. Beautifully recorded. Even if you're not into classical, grab this. Well worth it. Something very different now. So I was watching, I mentioned this before in my previous videos, it's good to do a bit of research as part of your journey to learning about music and stuff. But I do like that What's in My Bag from Amoeba Records, where they have various pop artists or musicians come along into the shop in Amoeba. It's a huge shop there's a few of them in America. We don't get them here in the UK. And they're basically asked to pick their favourite stuff and talk about it. And it was, who was it? Santa Gold, which is gorgeous, doing a bit of a what's in my bag. And she picked up this, My Life in a Hole in the Ground. So I streamed this and thought, oh, I need to get that if it's available. And it's from the African Head Charge. And the hype sticker says, groundbreaking debut album from 1981, plays on both the title and concept of David Byrne and Brian Eno's My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Okay. Built upon sparse backing tracks constructed by Adrian Sherwood, the producer invited Bonjo Ayabinji Noah, who had studied under Count Ossie in the Rasta drumming camp, to lay down hand percussion patterns and breaks on top. Basically, it's percussion, it's African, tribal, dub. It's great. Recut dub plates and mastering at Berlin for maximum bass pressure. Includes printed inner and sleeve notes by Steve Barker. Plus download. Really good. Like this. Sounds fantastic. Recommend. It's the bass on it is ridiculous. It's something that it's a nice deep rich bass. It's ridiculous, but it's I like a bit of reggae and a bit of dub, as you know. This is the inner sleeve, like that. There's some liner notes there. So that's My Life in a Hole in the Ground by African Head Charge. Yeah, nice, like that. One more to show you, which came this week actually, a couple of days ago. It's my thanks to George at Scottish Spinner 1, mentioned he picked up a very cheap copy of this. I think it might be the same copy. It's the Record Store Day exclusive. 50th anniversary on 2 LPs on clear vinyl. It's Clear Spot. Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band. And I hadn't heard this. It's on Rhino, by the way. I hadn't heard this. Like a bit of Trout Mask and like Safe as Milk. Love it. I picked this up fairly cheap on eBay because it had a very slight ding on the corner there. Really, it's quite minimal, to be fair, but the absolutely stunning record. I mean, it blows me away when I'm listening to something that's like, this old, 1972, and it just sounds as if it was recorded yesterday. I mean, I don't know if they've used the master tapes to make this. Clear Spot, that's it. They've obviously used the master tapes, but whether it's all analog or it's been from digital, who cares? Sounds amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's what's nice about it is you've got all this lovely photography from the recording session. So Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman Studios cut it. It is stunning. Really happy. I'm going to play it now actually. Really like it. I like the way that I didn't really realise that Beefheart did a lot of not just the real but the avant-garde crazy. And I've been listening to Ice Cream for Crow quite a bit. A great video on YouTube. But he does all this lovely, really nice, tender, bluesy kind of bluegrass type. It's great stuff. It's still a bit wild, but not really. It's kind of easy listening. It's really nice. Well worth listening to that. Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band, Clear Spot. Brilliant. Fantastic. There is a second disc actually on this with like outtakes and I haven't listened to that yet, but cleaned up beautifully. That's it really. Variety of, crikey, I've just realised I've got jazz, classical, kind of 80s pop thing, a bit of dub, and then ending with that. Love it. Love this hobby. It's great. Great fun. I've got my radio show in a couple of hours, well, less than an hour and a half. So I'm going to scoot and get ready for that. If I get time, I'll put a link down to the recording and hopefully it'll come out okay. There's been a few technical problems with the kit they've got in at the moment in the studio, but I'm hoping. I've got loads of Bill Evans I'm going to play. I've got loads of stuff. I'm really tired actually. Had a bit of a long weekend. Anyway, nice to see you all. Take care and see you again soon. Cheers.